welcome to Thrashcast. We are hitting episode 58 today. So awesome, guys. I'm here with my two cohorts, Billy and Kenneth. How are you guys this evening?
Oh, good.
Doing good, sir.
Great. 58. Wow. And Ken just brought up some great information just before that. Actually, Horror Metal Sounds Thrashcast is at 6.66 thousand subs. So we're at 666. So awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it is a human number. My Iron Maiden hat, number of the beast.
And tie that in there, Jim. She just bought that hat.
Anyways, tonight we're going to be discussing the landmark album of Arise by Sepultura. There we go, Billy. That's awesome.
Jimmy's got it.
One of the best covers of all time. I love that album art. Love it.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I bought the CD, it blew me away. But where can you find us? A little bit of housekeeping here. We are Thrashcast. You just have to go into YouTube, type in Thrashcast. You'll find it. We're also at keng.2864. On YouTube, we're under Horror Metal Sounds banner. So you can look us up via Horror Metal Sounds, through Thrashcast, whatever. Everything will pop right up for you. We're also available on Rumble and Spotify. You can listen to us while you're driving to work or whatnot on Spotify. So please keep liking. If you have any comments, questions, albums, bands you want us to talk about, any news items, anything, definitely hit subscribe. You'll get our information way quicker. And, we're always looking for show ideas. So definitely throw them on there if you have any. Cool.
Yeah.
So anyways, we're going to be diving into Sepultura, but before, our usual part of the show is any news and what's spinning. Hey, Ken, why don't you start us off?
Sure. So I know I was talking to you guys earlier about the announcement from Accept for the reunion with Udo, Wolf Hoffman, and Peter Balthers, which is a bit weird. But Billy made an interesting point this morning because he was saying that, it's kind of a knock to Mark, and I guess it kind of is, but I don't really know what they're planning on. Is it just like Mark's going to sit this out and they're going to put out an album and they're going to tour with that lineup? I don't know. It's a bit weird. What do you guys think of that? I know how you're feeling about it, Billy, earlier.
But it's also kind of because you just had the reverse happen, right? You had Udo go back and re-record the classic Accept album.
Yeah, balls to the wall.
Yeah, so they're both trying to go back to the well and kind of capitalize on the old band and old name, which is interesting. Maybe that indicates neither of them are doing as well on their own. I don't know.
It's possible.
Well, I saw some from their show in Toronto and Montreal. I don't think the turnouts were that great for Accept. I know Mark had gotten ill, I believe, 2 years ago for the Montreal show. So they brought in, they had a cut down set and somebody else sang it or whatever. And, it's kind of a bit of a letdown, but I also heard on the Udo front, when he toured, I think early in the year, late last year for his album there, the turnouts across the US and that didn't seem to be that great. So I don't know. Maybe they're trying to, and that Dirk Schneider album for the Balls to the Wall, I crapped on it online. I was like, I don't want to hear this. And I got to be honest, I'm going to buy it because it was that, I listened to the whole thing over and over again, and I like the format of it. So it's kind of, they're doing it with a guest singer, which I usually hate, but the way they're doing it is they're playing off each other. So Udo's not doing the whole song. Biff Byford does I think one or two songs, and they play off each other. So it's really, really cool. It sounds great. So I changed my view on that.
Cool. Okay. Well, I guess we'll just have to wait and see what happens. I don't know. It was just announced today, so I don't think there's much details about what they're planning to do, if there's a new album in the works, or I don't know. Maybe they'll get people to come out to it, right?
Yeah.
My next bit of news is kind of interesting. So I was watching a podcast. It's called the Iblis Manifestations. It's an interesting podcast. The does the podcast is he's a black metal singer in a band, and so he had Thomas Gabriel Fisher on,
Oh,
and
nice.
it was like it was 2 weeks ago. I didn't even see it, so I just finished watching it today. And so they were talking about Triptychon, of course. It was a lot. A lot of the conversation was around Martin, so it was discussing songs with Martin and the band, and he he started talking about why he plays, why he still continues to play Celtic Frost songs, even though people are complaining. And he's like, well, I wrote these songs, they're my songs.
Mm-hmm.
And why wouldn't I not want to play them? So it was interesting what he was saying. Well, he did actually get around to talking about Triptychon, and the album apparently is due out this year. So it'll have an H.I. Giger cover again
Nice.
that he did. So that's going to be kind of neat. He said sometime this year, no date or month or whatever, but at least we know it's coming out. And yeah, the guy's like 62. So it's incredible that he's still going strong at 62. He was saying that he still records and writes music every single day. So I'm like, oh, that's awesome. So I'm glad we're getting a new Triptychon album. I'm looking forward to that.
Wicked. Yeah, no, that's awesome. They just played the Maryland Death Fest.
Yes.
I saw some footage of that, and it sounded fantastic.
Yeah, he's got a good band. He has a really good lineup of players that he's been working with since I think more than 17 years now. They've been together as a band, and the only lineup change is the drummer. Norman, the original drummer, is no longer in the band. He's been replaced, but beyond that, it's the same lineup since almost 17 years, which is incredible. So, but I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully, it's a really good album. I can't wait for it.
Cool.
That's all I have though this week.
And Billy, what have you got for us?
Yeah, on the news side, not a whole lot, but I did come across an article that's, I guess, a bit relevant for today's topic. It was Andreas Kisser interview, and he was they were focused on sort of the I don't know if rift is the word, but the disagreements between the current Sepultura and Max. And so I thought the two main questions I thought were kind of interesting, and I thought Andreas had some pretty good points to it. I prefer Sepultura with Max. So, I mean, I was sort of, as we probably all very well do, but that's not where they are. That's not where they've been for ages. So we know they're on the farewell tour. So it was kind of, they were asking him because the offer's been put out there, like in coming up shortly, they're going to do that final show for Sepultura, and Max and Igor have been invited, and so there's really doesn't seem to be a lot of enthusiasm by Max and Igor to join, and I don't know, and yeah, there's a lot of issues, but I think Andreas is right. Do it for the fans. You're going to end this thing in Brazil. At the end of the day, we're all doing this for the fans. Old Sepultura, new Sepultura. If there were no fans, none of us would be here today arguing. So this is the last show. Just let's get together, put our differences aside, and just come on and let's play 3, 4, 5, 6 songs. And then we don't have to talk to each other again. So I thought that was pretty fair, right? Forget about the arguments. And that led into the second question, which was, they were asking him, what do you guys think? Because Max keeps saying, well, they're not Sepultura, right? There is no, it's not the same Sepultura. And, obviously it's not because there's no Max and Igor. But again, I thought Andreas was pretty cool too in this, right? He's saying, well, for all, sort of intensive purposes, since they left, it's been over 25 years since Max and Igor were in the band. So of course it's not the same Sepultura, right? If they were the same Sepultura, the fans would be pissed off, right? They'd be stale and doing the exact same thing for 25 years. So I thought, that was a pretty decent point, right? The band's got to evolve, and in fairness, I'm sure they would have evolved with Max and Igor still in the band as they did kid, going into Roots and stuff. So, but again, I thought all that was fair, right? He's like, we know we're never going to get along. Let's not even talk about who was right, who was wrong back in the day. Let's just, again, let bygones be bygones for like a half hour of one show, and let's just finish this thing off the way it should be. So, I don't know. I don't know how, again, I'm sure they're pissed off at each other, but it's hard to argue that not doing this for the fans.
Yeah,
it's childish too,
Huh?
It's childish too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that's kind of the point he's making, right? Like without saying it directly. Like forget about who's right, who's wrong. Let's just do this for the fans. And that'd be pretty damn cool, right? Like even like you could do a live album or something.
Yeah.
Or live stream it. Everybody can make some cash on it. Like it's just crazy.
This could be huge, like let's be honest. I mean, they're already throwing, they're doing the classic albums re-records, so and redoing them. So odds are they're probably going to continue. So why wouldn't they? I don't understand why they wouldn't do this.
Yeah, I think it's just about the fans. Like I do, the re-recording's done. Like Max is clear, as we all talked about on Beneath the Remains. There's no reason to re-record Beneath, even more Rise, because they're perfect. And Max has said they have no intention of touching those two albums. So
good,
we're safe on that front.
Yeah, no need. I mean, I like them, but yeah, you don't need to touch these more modern albums. But I mean, Andreas is just as big a part as. I mean, I know it's Max and Igor, but I think Andreas is a talented guitar player and massively underrated in the band in the sense that all the attention was always on them two. And I get why, I know that, but still he's been there through the thick and thin, and they've had more output after they left. I mean, for me, I like the real Sepultura stuff, but on the same token, I own all the rest of the albums.
Yeah. Same. I mean, we talk about Andrea, but I think the duo of Max and Andreas is probably the most underappreciated guitar duo in thrash. They don't get talked nearly enough as all the other bigger bands, but they're just as good, right? We'll talk about that today for sure.
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of relevant. That's the only item I had. In terms of what's spinning, I was at the Sacrifice show about a week ago, about a week and a half ago now, and picked up some stuff there in Vancouver. So Terrifier, great Canadian thrash band. This is their second album, Weapons of Thrash Destruction. I then picked up their latest from 2020.
Yeah, that's nice.
These are like so hard to get on vinyl.
You did a review on that, correct?
No, I didn't.
No, he didn't do a review.
Oh, okay.
No. Why did one of you guys?
No.
No. Okay. Tempo of the Week, Devour the Dead. That's 2023. And this is pretty cool. I haven't heard this yet. You don't see much because it's kind of like a bit of like a test pressing type thing. But it's Sacrifice doing their, the official name is Live in Japan. It's a 2018 show. The band sounds fantastic in 2018. So that's pretty cool.
Wow.
So, this has been getting a lot of spins. A good mix, right? It's got all Soldier stuff. The first couple albums for sure is heavily represented on here. So cool stuff. That's what I got. You, Jim?
Cool. Well, the only real news item I have is I'm just bringing up the Iron Maiden tour that started, in Budapest last night. They're doing 2 dates there and then doing a full-on European tour. A lot of chit chat online about the set list. Some people like it, some people don't. They're concentrating technically on the first 9 albums, but really we find out that there was nothing off of No Prayer for the Dying, which is kind of odd. I get it. I thought No Prayer of the Dying was better than Fear of the Dark. But I know Bruce likes playing Fear of the Dark, the song, and but I mean, you could have picked Bring Your Daughter to the Slaughter.
Yeah, I like that song.
Yeah. And I think that was a number one. I think that was one of their highest charting American singles, actually.
Yeah, because
Um,
it was in the movie. They use it in what was it? Was it Freddy versus Jason?
oh,
It
okay.
it appeared in one of those movies.
Ah, yeah. So I don't understand. Anyways, it just kind of like throw that in there. But there was some cool stuff. I think there was 5 Diano era songs, so that's pretty cool. There was a few kind of some like the Ides of March, Murders in the Rue Morgue, Wrathchild Killers, and Phantom of the Opera, and they did them. And then they went into Number of the Beast, The Clairvoyant, Power Slave, 2 Minutes to Midnight. My favorite, Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner, and I watched it. I know they had asked people to leave their phones at home and do
Mm.
not record and stuff like that. But anyways, I watched it on YouTube, just being, a fan.
The
Some guy
first
did the
show, and
whole.
you could see the whole thing online.
Yeah. And oh man, the graphics for the video playing was fantastic. Eddie came out for Killers. He had an axe. It was pretty cool, and just and I thought the new drummer sounded great. I mean, I had no, people are there's mixed views online. I'm not a drummer, so it sounds good to my ears. I think it's great, so I had no issues with it. I watched the whole show. It was over 2 hours long. It was wicked. And just, I mean, holy cow! I don't know how somebody would even record the whole thing, because unless maybe he's going for 2 nights or something. Because I wouldn't want to stand there with the phone or on a stick, because man, there was just too much to look at, and it looked like a big party going on. So, but anyways, kind of cool.
You know what though, Jim? It's kind of a piss off. I'm so fucking tired of like Bruce
I know.
complaining about like, dude, it's fucking 2025 here. Technology is a part of life. Get over your fucking self.
Yeah.
Just let it go. Let it fucking go. Because
Or
not everyone can afford to go
or
to
do what
an
Ghost
amazing show.
does.
What's that?
Do what Ghost does on Danzig.
Yeah.
Ghost, they make you put your phone in a bag.
Yeah, okay, I get that, but I to me it's like this is 2025 here. Like, what the fuck are we talking about? Like, it's a phone. Get over yourself. You're not like this isn't Maiden from 1985 or whatever. It's like these are a bunch of old dudes who are pretty much ready to retire. So just get I just find
Yeah,
the whole
I
thing
mean, and you pay so much for a ticket. You should, I mean,
exactly.
No, if I'm buying a ticket and I want to bring my phone,
yeah,
I'm respectful. I always take a couple clips,
yeah,
never more than a
Yeah,
minute, and I might do one or two per band.
same here.
But
yeah.
I don't know if you noticed when we were at Warbringer in Toronto a few months ago, where we were
Mhm.
standing, there was like a guy in back of us. He was sitting down. He was an older guy, and
Yep.
he had his camera on like one of those poles.
Yep.
And he filmed the whole
Yep. Yeah,
thing,
I
right?
remember that guy.
Beginning to end,
Yep.
every second of it.
Yeah, I remember I saw that guy. Yeah, yeah.
And I don't
But
get it because he's sitting down, so he can't see anything. So you got to
yeah.
show, but then you didn't enjoy anything. So yeah, it's kind of weird.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't go to that extreme to film a whole show, but I'm just saying, if I have my phone and I want to take a clip, what's wrong with that for crying out loud?
Yeah,
Like,
I agree.
my
And see,
God.
and Ghost is smart because they make you do this, but then Tobias, there's stories that it's a fan leaked part of the video that we're going to show it at midnight, so everybody stays up and watches, and it's kind
Ah,
of genius because it's him
I guess.
probably doing it, and it's kind of, hey man, there's a classic case of where he's using the technology and bending it the way he wants it to go. I think it's kind of neat how he does it, but yeah, I agree. I mean, you pay $400 or $500 for a ticket to see Iron Maiden, or however much they are, like close to the stage. I mean, you're looking at high amounts. $200 for a ticket or whatever. You want to
Yeah.
be able to do what you want to
Yeah.
do.
And I'd be curious at Ghost, right, where they do apparently take your phone at the door and lock it in that bag. I mean, if you put your phone in your underwear, who the hell's going to know? Are they
Uh,
frisking every inch of your body? Like, I don't get that.
I don't know.
Hard to say.
Is it so? The bag must be locked. I don't even know. It must be
Yeah, so
unless at
you
the end of the
walk
show.
in, you give them your phone, they lock it. It's like when you buy clothes
Ah,
like in a store, right? You need that thing to take it off that lock. And so you carry your phone in the bag with you. But then
ah,
on your way out, they unlock it.
oh God. I guess the only other option, don't bring your phone.
but they do that for like advanced film screenings. Like I know in Toronto, I've been to a few of those, and same thing when you get your ticket, they basically take your phone away from you. And I've had my phone taken away from me for a couple times, but whatever. I mean, I get it. The film isn't out yet. They don't want anything leaked.
Yeah,
I understand that, but I just don't. The concert part, I don't understand.
Yeah,
I get it.
But anyways, I'm like you, Billy, and Ken probably the same. I only like to take a minute blurb, maybe twice. I don't like to stand there. You know, luckily I'm generally taller than everybody else, so I'm just like, but I don't want to see. And then I'm looking at something. I'm taking a video, and all you see is people's phones, and you can see what they're recording.
Yeah, no, I know. Sometimes there's like a wall of phones in front of you.
And what I'm spinning is, I don't think I brought this up there since our last show, but I've got the Benediction.
Yeah.
Ravage of Empires finally arrived. I think it came by donkey to Halifax, but I got it. So this is one hell of a record. And man, I'm telling you,
it's good.
This will be a top 5 for me. Right now, it's fighting with Warbringer and Dream Theater for number 1. I love this, and I'm waiting on the Cancer one because that one I've been spinning for, online, and I absolutely like it. But I also picked up that Candlemass Black Star EP. It's pretty cool. It was 4 songs. It was a little pricey, like at $26 or $25 for 4 songs, I actually really liked it. Yeah,
the vinyl's 21.
No, probably. Yeah,
I bought it. Yeah.
Wow.
But oh man, this album is fantastic. I tell you, that is just one of my favorite releases so far this year, and I can't wait.
It's good. It's really good.
Jim, do you have the one before that? That was where Dave Ingram came. Like, that's very good too.
It's probably, I'd say they're neck and neck, because the one before it was my favorite from their catalog. This one's very close. Like, man, there's parts of the other one I like better. You know, like.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I still really like their first album, right, which had Barney of Napalm Death on it.
Yeah, that's a great album.
Yeah. What was it? Subconscious Terror, I think.
I think that's what it was. Yeah.
It's got like the knife that's like going towards a skull or something. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, that's a great image.
And that's all I got, guys. So, but no, great. That's some great conversation about Sepultura with Andreas there. I think that's because that's kind of falls into some of our questions. So I'll just break into the questions here. First question, very simple. I'm always on this. I'm going to hit to Ken and then obviously ask Bill, but artwork, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, we've discussed it on the previous podcast, but yeah, Michael Whelan is a classic artist. I mean, he's been doing book covers since 1975, and he's did everything in the genre from horror, science fiction, and fantasy. And then his album artwork, like for Sepultura, for Evil, that's great. I love it. Meatloaf, Soulfly, Sarah Thungle. So I mean, like, he hasn't did a whole lot of band work, but I mean, he's worked with and Obituary. Sorry, I forgot them too. Mm-hmm. But he's did a good small selection of album cover art. Now, they're all good albums. This album cover is great. I mean, you look at that and it's like, wow, it's telling this incredible story. Like, I don't know, like Creatures from the Dead. Like, it's got everything under the sun in it. I think it's fantastic. It's such a great cover. He's such a great artist too. I've always
there's a nod to, like, you see the kind of, I don't know if you call them tablets or totems, but kind of to they're sort of, that whole background, that tribal background, which is pretty cool.
The Brazilian roots, yeah. And there's kind of a Lovecraftian bent to it, which is what I like. Which is funny, which is kind of a nod to Lovecraft, because he has done book covers for H.P. Lovecraft, like paperback editions and stuff. So, and of course, he's also on the obituary cover as well. But that's their cover. Cause of Death was used on a cover for an H.P. Lovecraft novel, so it's kind of cool. But yeah, it's great. It's really, really good art.
Bill, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't really have much to add, right? Other than it's cool artwork. So I don't have any interpretation of it or anything other than it looks great.
Wicked. So what like we all know about obviously Max and Igor's departure from the band, in the albums that followed afterwards. What are you guys' thoughts, or Bill, what's your thoughts on, do you like the Cavalera Conspiracy, or I guess now they're even marketing it as Cavalera, kind of like the Sepultura, or Soulfly, or even Nail Bomb? Do you like any of the other bands that Max has been kind of forefronting and Igor's been kind of messing around with?
No, I mean, again, this is just personal taste. I know lots of people like them. I know you guys both liked them.
Yeah.
For me, I didn't like them at all. Like, like Sepultura lost me after Arise, and like the industrial, the new metal, the groove metal, like Max ran with that across those projects. And that's the exact type of metal I'm not a big fan of. I mean, Cavalera, like I enjoy those reissues, but that's like a whole other cup of tea, right? Like going back to the period of Sepultura, I love. But yeah, I just was never a fan of that material, and it just that style doesn't click with me. Like I know lots of people like it, and that's cool, and just personal taste.
Ken, I know you like most of it, correct?
Yeah, I like both bands, but just to add to Billy's point, it's true they Max did kind of go more into the new metal style with Soulfly, but they kind of abandoned that style.
Yep.
When they did Dark Ages, where they went to more like death, groove, and thrash. So they've kind of left that behind. There's still always a few elements, but I mean, I own every Cavalera Conspiracy album. I own every Soulfly album, and I can tell you that the more current stuff is more like kind of death thrash with a little bit of groove. So they kind of left the new metal, which is fine. But I think Max was one of the vocalists who kind of was on the cusp of the new metal vocal style, anyways, with the more shouting hardcore style that he had. So it kind of makes sense that he would bring those elements into the band. But I like the later Soulfly. I've always thought Mark Rizzo was a fantastic guitarist, and he and Max were truly underrated as a duo for a lot of albums. But if you haven't heard Dark Ages, that album is fucking killer. I love that album a lot. But all the modern albums are good. Like Omen, Savages, Conquer, Totem. They're all decent albums. Totem is a good album. I know you like that album, Jim.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, that's a good album. So they're all solid, decent albums. Cavalera Conspiracy, well, yeah, I would agree with what Billy just said. Like the last two re-recordings of Sepultura are fucking awesome.
Yeah.
They're both great albums. But yeah, I mean, the modern stuff is a lot different, but the output may be better than Sepultura. I don't know. It's possible.
Actually, that's a good point. That would have made a great question, because I think Pandemonium, the album in 2014, is better than I think anything post Roots. I think.
Yeah. I would agree with that.
I only liked one album post Max leaving, and that was the last one, Quadra.
Quadra, yeah.
That's Quadra's a wicked album.
Yeah, I like Quadra too. That's a solid album.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And that leads into my next question. I guess, what did you guys like the new singer from Against on? Or apparently, well, Billy's already kind of answered it. What did you think of? Okay, Billy, we'll go with you first. What did you think of Against when it first came out? Were you just kind of, I guess you were kind of turned off from, because I know Roots isn't you're not keen on Roots or Chaos.
Yeah, no, not hugely. But it's funny though, because the weird thing is, I stuck with Sepultura every single tour. Yeah. Like, I'm such a big fan of the first like 4 or 5 albums that with Derek Green on board, I still every single album tour I went to.
Yep.
So I still always saw the band, right? My hope was always to hear the old stuff, right? And my frustration grew later on because they played less and less, obviously, with every additional like Derek Green era Sepultura album that came out. So yeah, I wasn't a big fan of it, but I still enjoy the band live, right? So separate
Mm-hmm.
from the album, I think Andreas Kisser is some of the best charisma on stage of like a guitar player. Like he's just damn cool watching. And yeah, I prefer Max as the singer in
Yeah.
Sepultura, but I still think Derek Green's a great singer.
Yep.
Maybe not. It's just I prefer. We're used to Max, so you got to deal with that. But I still enjoyed him singing the old stuff. It wasn't as good, but it was still fun. It was live, and Derek has a lot of energy, right? Like he makes like Max look like a 90-year-old man on stage. The way Derek runs around and is jumping and leaping off stuff, and so the band itself is still very entertaining to watch. This is like a bit of a funny story, I guess, because this year I got to see Sepultura on their farewell tour, I guess maybe around November. And then I got to see it two more times at 70,000 Tons of Metal. So then they played a fair amount of old stuff. And like I said, I've been going to the Sepultura tours all along with Derek. And then in like March at Hell's Heroes, Max and Cavalera did a special set of all the old stuff. And I forgot how damn good Max really is, right? Like
Yeah.
that show put it into perspective of how badly he's missed. Just because it's been so long since I saw him, I totally forgot how great he sounds singing like Arise and Beneath the Remains and Schizophrenia stuff. So, yeah, I don't know. I guess that's kind of my 2 cents, but I still supported the band. Like,
Mm-hmm.
maybe not bought every album. I probably bought half of them, but I was at every single tour they did. So,
And Ken, what's your thoughts on Against Forward?
Yeah, like I did support the band. I bought all the albums.
Yep.
I mean, they're mixed. They're a mixed bag.
Yeah.
I didn't mind. I didn't mind Against. I thought it was all right. Nation was okay. Roarback was average, but I thought they kind of hit their stride when they did Alex, which was kind of like the concept album to go back to oh shit, no, I'm drawing a blank, but it's a concept album, and I liked it. And then I thought Keros was okay. I didn't mind Machine Messiah, and I like Quadra quite a bit. So
Quadra's wicked.
yeah, I kind of thought they were okay. I mean, Derek is like he's a reasonably good singer. He doesn't. I mean, I would agree with Billy. Max is Max. He's when you ever think of Sepultura, it's always going to be Max, the guy you're going to think about. But I think the music that they did do the last 2 or 3 or 4, I mean, the last 3 albums have all been pretty good albums. They're all really solid. And I kind of liked Alex a lot because it's I love that they had this special kind of artist who does a lot of installation pieces. He did that cover is so great. I just love that cover. And the fact that it's based on Clockwork Orange is kind of neat. So I mean, I think they kind of had a bit of a creative, I guess, renaissance, like in the 2000s or late, beginning of the 2020 or so, and moving on forward, they've kind of found their stride. But yeah, I mean, it's okay, but Max is still Max. He's still the king.
Yeah, for sure. No, I agree with you guys. I mean, pretty much the same thing. I mean, I liked KSAD right after this, and I mean, I liked Roots a little bit more. It went a bit more industrial and chaos, and then kind of went a little bit more, even more commercial in Roots. But I mean, and then I thought Against was pretty good, but they kind of got a little repetitious for me, but and never really hit that. But Hydra was a wicked album. I really like that one. So,
yeah. Cool.
So I guess the last question is just simply, I mean, when did you guys get into Sepultura? I got in on Beneath the Remains. And then when this came out, like I got more of my friends found this a little bit more accessible than obviously the previous albums and EPs they did earlier on. Ken, when did you get into them? Was it this album or Beneath?
It was Beneath.
Yeah.
But I think my preference has always been Arise. It's one of the
Right.
albums that I thought was so groundbreaking when it came out. But yeah, I heard Beneath first.
Yeah.
And then when Arise came out, I was like, whew, it was yeah, totally like groundbreaking, and it just blew my mind.
Cool. Billy, when did you were Beneath, I believe, if I remember from our last show.
Yeah, well, Beneath, hands down, in my opinion, is my favorite album. But like I knew of them during Schizophrenia.
Yeah.
Like I had a buddy who was always like, he had the cassette and he was always giving me his headset. He's like, listen to this. And for me, it was just the production was so rough. I've
Yeah.
always been picky on like the bad sound. So that's why I love the remakes like so much. But yeah, like for me, I mean, Arise is great. I like it. We'll talk about the songs. I don't think the second half is anywhere near as strong as the first half. And so, because of that, I prefer Beneath the Remains.
Cool. Well, just a quick, I mean, we went over this before, and I'm sure all our listeners and watchers out there already know who Sepultura is, but just a quick, for this album, came out in 1991, so we're heading out of the 90s here, and another strong year for metal, thrash, death, heavy metal, as we'll talk about later on with one of our favorite releases from this year. On this album was obviously Max on vocals, Igor on drums, Andreas lead guitar, and Paul Jr. on bass. But the interesting thing is this was also produced same with Scott Burns. So, and I mean, he's done so many legendary deaths and thrash bands. I think he's done Human for Death, Demolition Hammer, Tortured Existence, and he's done a ton of Cannibal Corpse. I think Butchered at Birth he's done. So there's been some Obituary as well. I think he did Slowly We Rot, I believe.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's and I believe he did Beneath the Remains, the first album as well. So I found, and I mean, the sound quality from Schizophrenia to Beneath and then to this is just hands down. I mean, the methods in that were probably a lot more improved too. Plus, the budget went up, as every album generally does when it's, especially this one was definitely a hit out there. I mean, I know a lot of my friends kind of got into it once that album came out. They liked it a little bit more. As Billy said, I found from Beneath on the production was way better. But yeah, those first Sepultura EPs and albums were pretty rough, pretty rough sounding to begin with. And yeah, the re-records that Cavalier is doing on those. And yeah, this does not need to be touched, and neither does Beneath. So hopefully they stick to it and they don't do that. But I'm glad you heard that they're not. So that's perfect. So, but anyways, yeah, great. So we're gonna jump right into the actual songs here of the album and kind of deep dive into them. So Ken, why don't you start off with the title track, Arise?
Yeah, well, it's probably the best song on the album next to Dead and Bionic Cells. They're my two first favorites, 1 and 2. But Arise is great. Like that opening with the like that kind of hellish opening with those creatures, the writhing in pain, or at least that's what I interpreted when it starts up. And then it's really relentless. The drums and the main riff, whew, so great. A lot of great chugs and tempo in this. And he has a bit of a Slayerish vibe in some of the solo around 210. At least that's what I was picking out of it. And I love the lyrics. Max did a really good job with the lyrics about, because he's relating all about I guess the political climate that was going on in Brazil or in South America. So it's about his idea about humanity's destruction, arise, and we're all going to rise. I think it's great. It's as a great song. It starts off great like that. It just gets the blood pumping and your fists like really pounding right off the bat. But it's an awesome song.
Nice, cool. And Billy?
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm a big fan of it. Yeah, it just might be the best. Like, for me, the best 3 songs are the first 3 songs. Not to say there's not other great songs on the album.
No. You're right.
It ends well too, but yeah, I just think it's probably one of the best 1, 2, 3 punches in thrash. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, I agree. Like, I mean, right away you hear the better production, so that's really cool. Like I find Igor is like gotten better with his
Oh,
drumming. Like all through
Yeah.
this, like he just the drumming is refined, like it's aggressive, it's angry, but it has this refinement to it, and he's doing something always at the right time in the right place, whether it's expected or not expected. Max sounds great. Agree with Ken that solo at 210 is fantastic. I love the chorus, like one of their most memorable for sure, and just the riffs, right? I said it before, but like the riffs, like the just the rhythm guitar playing of Max is fantastic. Like it fuels like so many of these
yeah.
songs. It's fantastic. Like he just writes like amazing stuff. So yeah, I'm a big fan.
No, I agree. And don't you like you make a great point, Billy, when you brought up the two get like Max and Andreas, they play off of each other, kind of like so underrated when you think about it compared to like I compared to them to more earlier. I mean, not musically, but how they play off with Glenn Tipton and KK Downing. I just they're there for each other, and the fills are just amazing. And yeah, the drums on this, I like on the muddier production albums. I found the drums were just kind of blurred a little bit. It felt like, if that's the right word to use. Here, they're more up front and a little bit more crisp and much more like I love it. I think Igor is probably one of the most underrated drummers out there.
Yeah.
So, but no, I love the song as well too. I mean, 58 seconds of vocals just cut in, and if you never heard Sepultura until this was your first song, I mean, what a treat! You're just getting that for the first time, and it's like, holy shit, that's a holy shit moment for sure. So, Billy, what about I guess their big hit, a song, the next one, which you've already kind of leaked here, but Dead Embryonic Cells. What do you think of that song?
Yeah, I mean it's another classic, right? And it kind of starts not again with another kind of ominous like sound effect type intro,
Yeah.
just like the first track did. But yeah, this like in the early days of seeing Sepultura, this was like a staple of the live show, and you could see why. It starts a little less aggressive, but it like totally explodes just past a minute. There's lots of great double bass drumming in here. Good use of tempo changes, everything from mid pace to pure all out thrash. Again, we talk about the riffs like they're
Oh,
fantastic. Like Andreas just burst into this guitar solo at like 3:08, and then right after that, at about a 3.5 minute mark, it goes back to that slower, grinding guitar groove. Like that's like will set any mosh pit on fire. That's like a fantastic, cool part, and yeah, just another really good song.
and Ken, I take it you like this one.
Oh yeah, this is a great song. Yeah, I mean, catchy groove, tempo,
Oh yeah.
everything Billy said is pretty much bang on with what you get with this song. And yeah, yeah, it's riff centric all the way through for me. And I love the chorus on this one, "Dead Embryonic Cells."
Yeah.
I just love that chorus when it's repeated. But yeah, and it's again, Max wrote these lyrics. It's all about like he's looking at the political leanings in Brazil and the turmoil going on there in South America. So it's very interesting his approach to writing songs. But this song is like it complements Arise so well. Like they're
Mm-hmm.
one and two, you can't. They're both damn great. But yeah, I love this song as well.
Yeah, and that sort of intro with I think it's kind of a respirator intro. It's
Yeah,
kind of got a horror theme to it.
yeah, it's a bit of an industrial grind.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's you that kind of stuff you'll get in industrial metal bands. So I can see where he's took a bit of that, but it's okay. It's very sparse. It's just for a couple seconds.
Oh yeah, but it's kind of freaky. I always think of rest. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's I don't know, but it kind of every time I hear it in a song, like it's been used before, but I think in this song it just sounds so ominous. It's cool, and you're in, and then the song just takes off. I mean, you guys said it all. 126, the vocals cut in, and it's just. I think it's and the riffs that play off of each other are just so. It's awesome. I mean, it's one of my favorite thrash songs, but one of my favorites on this album. But I got to be honest, like this album has a lot of ones in front of it for me. So, but anyhow, Ken, number 3 here in Desperate Cry, Murder. Sorry.
Yeah, this is a great song too. I mean, I know that it's a song that Andreas he wrote the lyrics for it, so he has a lot of passion about politics and oppression in Latin America, which is one of the, I guess, the central themes to Arise on this album. But this is great too. You get that fantastic acoustic opening. It's great, and then the chug engine starts up, and then you get all these crazy thrash grooves, and it's just incredible. The tempo, the tempo changes, all that crisp instrumentation. It's really, really good. It's a song that I really like. Because what I like about it is that you get that it slows down, it picks up. There's a bit, they bring back the acoustic bit a little bit into it, and then the riffs are just whoa. And it's probably the most progressive song on the album, I think. For me, I find there's a bit more of a progressive and melodic bent to it. And I just love it. The way that scream that Max interjects around the 550 mark is so great. And that last minute of the song is fantastic. But this is a great, great song.
Yeah, I mean that it's the longest song on the album at 6 minutes 40 seconds. But I think you need that because you have that sort of ominous kind of a more classical guitar at the start and it just breaks in. I mean. I think it's great. It takes you on a really cool journey, and I love the fact Andreas wrote it, and that's pretty cool. I mean, and he's got a couple of writing credits. Actually, he's probably got more than a couple, almost more than half the album, I think, on here, either together with Cat Max or by himself. And this is just a killer song. Billy, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, you guys pretty much hit every point I have. I don't have a lot more to add. Yeah, it's almost 7 minutes, but it doesn't feel like a 7-minute song. And I think that's because there's so many rhythmic changes throughout. So they do a great job of contrasting the slower parts, the heavy parts, the fast parts, the acoustic at the beginning, even the like the guitar leads, like at 338. Very melodic, right? So it sort of keeps you on the edge of your seat. So, and then kind of like that last minute when it gets like really aggressive. I mean, Igor's just beating the crap out of his head. Like it's really cool. Like it does what you wanted to do for a longer song. And I'd agree with Ken, probably slightly on the progressive side. But yeah, like I said before, the first 3 are my favorite 3.
Wicked. And you brought up, Billy, seeing them as many times as you have. They don't play hardly anything off this album, do they? Or do they play? What do they play? Anything? Because I mean, you pretty much were saying they just go with the older albums, mostly roots.
Well, no, I mean, they'll play like usually 1 or 2
off each one.
Maybe like on this thing, probably they would play. I've seen them do meaningless movements a couple times.
Okay.
Infected voice a couple times tends to come from there. Arise, like on the farewell tour, they did Arise, and then with Beneath, you'll usually get like 1 song. If you're lucky, often you don't even, but they'll always hit Arise for at least 1.
Okay, cool. Billy, we'll stick with you with song 4 here. I got you on that, Ken, with Desperate Cry, did I?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Billy, start us off with Murder. Song
Yeah,
four.
so this is good. Like it coming out of the last song, it's short, only 3.5 minutes,
Mhm.
but it's more of a thrash banger. So that's kind of cool coming out of the different paces. So yeah, some same stuff, right? The great chugging riffs are fantastic. Max, the duo of Max and Igor. The drumming is really great on this thing. There's lots of hooks in it. Like it sticks with me. They fill a lot in, 3.5 minutes, and so yeah, there's not a lot to say about it other than it's a banger and it's kind of a great follow up to the previous. Although it's always found it odd the very abrupt ending to the track, but that's neither adds or subtracts to it. But yeah, I think it's a good one.
Yeah, I agree. I like it. It's kind of a recalibration to where
Yeah.
you're heading out of a progressive thrash to more of just a kind of a standard, just thrash banger, like you said. Ken, your thoughts on Murder?
Yeah, it's a good song. I mean, yeah, again, yeah, it's just it's quick and it's to the point, which is what you want in a
Yeah,
thrash album. Sometimes overbearing songs can bore the hell out of you, but you don't get that here.
no.
I do like the fact that yeah, Max wrote this song too, the lyrics to the
Yeah,
song, and it's all about condemning the prison system in Brazil. So again, it's obviously when you listen to this album, this is the maturity level in the band. This is where they getting away from the more juvenile lyrics of hell and demons and horror and shit, and getting to something that's much more topical, which is what I like about this. And yeah, Igor is the star of this song for me. I love his drumming here.
yeah.
It's so great. And yeah, you can't go wrong with either four members of this band. Everyone's firing on all four cylinders here. But yeah, it's a good song.
Wicked, wicked. Well, Ken, we'll stick with you with Subtraction, written by Andreas as well.
Yeah, yeah, that's
So
right,
take
Andres.
us away with Subtraction.
Yeah, this is an all right song as well. I mean, it dips a bit for me. It's all about financial greed and the changes a person will have with their outlook when they identify that they have money. So it's interesting. It's an all right song. Um, I like how Igor kind of tees it off at the start. Then it gets really frantic with that chug and the tempo combo. It starts up. The chorus subtraction's pretty good. The solo is okay. I don't mind it. It's an okay song, but it doesn't rival the first three for me. But I don't mind it.
Yeah, I love this song. I think it's cool. I like
Yeah.
the drum intro, and I get kind of a musically, only musically, because it's hard to like. You can compare some of, I find you can compare some of their music to older Slayer and stuff, but only musically
Yes.
because the vocals
Yes.
are so they're so identifiably Max that but I get a bit of an Anthraxy vibe from this song, and I thought it was
Oh
kind of
yeah.
cool because
Okay.
you leave Murder, which is just an all out thrasher, and this, which is a really good thrash song as well. But I kind of get just musically, not obviously not vocally, but I really like
Right.
it. It's one of my favorites. Billy, what's your thoughts on Subtraction?
Yeah, no, I mean, I kind of probably sit around where Ken does. Like I don't mind the song, but it's my least favorite so far. I
Mm.
don't generally
Mm.
skip it when I play it, but like I mean, what I really like is like there's a great musical section
Mm-hmm.
that sort of you get the guitar leads at 250, and then that leads into some great like chugging riffs, and it makes for like a really cool moshing part of the track. So that I really like. But this is my least favorite so far. Max singing. He has some more aggressive parts on the song, but like especially around the chorus when he slows it down a little bit. I'm not as big of a fan of his voice when he does that. Again, just a personal thing. And let's give Pablo a bit of credit here. He's got a bass
Mm-hmm.
solo on this track, so we haven't heard him
Yeah.
on a standalone basis 5 songs in. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, I'm kind of with Ken. Like it's like it's a good song. I don't mind it, but I think it's a step down of what came before it.
Cool.
Mm.
Billy, we'll stick with you for song 6, "Altered State," another Andreas written song.
Yeah, so this is where again, this is it's going to come down to personal taste. I'm not a fan of this song. This for me is where, in particular, the album really dips, kind of around the Subtraction, Altered State, Under Siege are like three, weaker tracks, and I get it. People may love them. Altered State, you kind of get the a little bit more of the tribal percussion and Brazilian themes that come in, and that's cool. That's their heritage. They should sing or write music however they want. None of my business what they're doing. But I mean, it's why I didn't like the direction of the next two albums. So like I wasn't a bit of a fan. Like I find this could have been on Chaos for sure. So it's my least favorite. But again, Igor has some great drumming, some really interesting fills. So I can always find stuff I like regardless. So, but yeah, like it's a bit of like at 6.5 minutes is almost the longest song. Like it
Yeah.
feels a bit long for me. But yeah, there's some good ideas and the way the song ends. Like I just think it's a terrible ending. It gets down to this slow crawl,
Mhm.
and it kind of lasts for like 45 seconds. It just kills the. It's like I don't know, like playing your record at half the speed to end the song, right? And again, I know lots of people love it, so I don't know. I'm probably the minority.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, there you go.
I love it. I like the outro. I even wrote that in here. I like the
Yeah.
cool slider guitar outro. I'm like, oh, geez, Billy, come on.
Well, you guys like the next two albums, so like it
Yeah,
makes
yeah.
sense that you
No,
guys
I liked it.
like.
I find it had more of a death thrash vibe for me, like especially with the vocals.
Mhm.
I liked it. Yeah, it's a little long in the tooth, I would say, in the sense that I mean, we don't need necessarily it to be 6.5 minutes. Like this is two 6.5 minute songs on the album. But I mean, I really like it. I think it's got some cool. I like the sort of tribal, the storm, sort of the tribal jungle kind of intro. Really kind of dig that quite a bit. Ken, what's your thoughts?
Well, I like the song too. I could see Billy's point. They
Oh
probably
yeah,
they could cut this down
yeah.
by a minute or so. This, the opening, the tribal opening is kind of interesting. I like it. I don't have a problem with it. The ending is a little odd, as Billy pointed out. But I like the song. It's kind of all over the map. Maybe I don't know. I almost got the impression that they didn't really have an overall outcome for the song. They just decided, well, we're going to write this, and it's going to have some chug. It's going to have some tempo changes. It's going to do all kinds of things for 6 minutes, and that's fine. I think I like the lyrics of it. For me, I like the fact that Kisser wanted to talk about like personal transformation. He's discussing the idea of the human psyche and how there's what I don't know is that the idea is that it's about experimentation on the human brain. So where did he get that notion from? I was thinking about the movie Altered State, which I
Mhm.
love that movie in the 80s. And I thought maybe did he get it from Altered States? I don't think he did, but I was trying to connect the dots with the idea of the song because maybe that was the whole point. Altered State, you're trying to do something that's all over the map. I don't know, but I think it's a decent song.
Mhm.
I think I like it better, a little better than Subtraction, for me. But yeah, it's okay.
Cool, cool. Well, we'll continue along here into song 7, Under Siege. Ken, you're up.
Yeah, Under Siege is interesting as well. I mean, it has the acoustic opening, and it's timed with like a slower groove to start out. There's some experimentation here.
Mhm.
The one thing I kind of see, you start to get the experimentation coming in as if they're telling you, well, Roots is coming and this is what
Yeah,
you're going to get. So, and I think we were talking, I forget what album, we were talking about another album way back. Same thing where the album was
yeah.
rips hard and then all of a sudden it starts getting into like experimentation. And then the next album is where they did I forget what band we were talking about, but I feel like there's a bit of deja vu going on here with this.
Good
Um,
point.
I don't mind it. Again, this is Max. Max wrote the song. It's all about religious persecution. So I think it has some interesting points. Um, Mac, the vocals like cut in at 144, which is interesting.
Yeah.
But I don't know about you guys, but I found like there's a bit of processed vocals that start coming
Yes.
in. And that's the thing that you start seeing in like metal albums in the early 90s. So I think it's okay. I do like the tempo changes. I think just in the second half of the song, there's a lot of interesting tempo changes, and the solo comes later. But I don't, it's okay. But I can see where this is like the experimentation song for me.
Yeah, and I get that, and I get your definitely good points there. This could definitely be on Chaos AD.
Or Roots.
Yeah, and Roots. Yeah, I mean it's I thought, and that vocalization thing kind of turned me off it. Like I thought it was kind of a weird spoken word type thing, and I just find it doesn't really have, for me, it doesn't have any place there. It's probably my least favorite on the album. I still like it, but it's not. It's definitely not as good as the first six that I really really like. Billy, what's your thoughts?
Hate it.
Yeah.
I would have just left the whole damn thing off, but again, it's everything we said, right? Like this is like, this should have been on the next two album. Either of the next two. I hate the sound effect vocals. Like this just sounds like a totally different band. Like Ken talked about that solo coming in at the end, doesn't even sound like any of the other solos. Like it sounds like it was a different guitar player playing. This is just too much of the modern Sepultura for me. And again, like I said, we all like what we like, and I'm sure the next two albums of Sepultura sold way more than this album did. I don't know if it's true, but I bet you it did, because every time I go to a show, people go crazy for Chaos and Roots. And the older you go back, they're just like looking lost, except for the old guys. Like, so yeah, it's just not for me, not my thing.
And I have a friend.
You know what?
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, Max had said that this song was an unusual song for the band to record, and that kind of spoken word stuff, that's actually taken from the Last Temptation of Christ. They took that out and used it here. So I don't know. Maybe this is one of, let's do a whole experimentation. But I get what Billy's saying though about the song.
So Ken, that's three songs for you in a row.
Yeah.
So in a way, you're agreeing with me that this is the first half album.
Yeah, I do agree with you. The first half is a lot stronger than the second half. I totally agree with you there.
Okay.
I'm on board with you on that point.
Yeah,
I'm on board with you that those first three songs are just stunning.
Oh yeah, those first three songs are amazing. My God.
Yeah, I think the top, the highs are higher.
Yeah, you're right, Jim. Yeah,
but to reiterate what you guys said, seeing them live, I have a friend who saw them a few years ago in Britain and says, like, it's any of the old stuff is always off of Chaos and Roots. I don't even think at his show they played anything off of Rise, which he was pissed about. He was like, the best material, and then it was all newer stuff, more recent stuff. So that kind of pisses me off a bit.
But then I see, I mean, I can't speak for European crowds.
Yeah.
Although I can speak for all the times I saw them at festivals.
Yeah.
Like there's like a really core young audience who's into that era of the band, right? Like Chaos and Roots, and like it's just very different, right? You could, and they didn't grow up on Arise, they didn't grow up on Beneath, so they just don't have the connection. So I guess the band saying, how do we please 80% of the fans the most, right? You can't please everybody.
No.
So I get
on like a 15-20 song set list, even if it's that long.
You're preaching to I'm with you.
Yeah. Oh, geez. Billy, we'll continue along here with number 8 with Meaningless Movements. Do we get any recalibration here for you?
Yeah, exactly. Right. So now we get back on track.
Yeah.
I like the next two songs. I think this is cool. This has got like the riffing. We're back to like some great riffs. It's the faster, aggressive Sepultura I like. Max is back to his angry like shouting and his vocals. It's got a pretty catchy chorus. There's some tempo changes, some good contrast, slowing down aggressive parts, and Igor's a machine on the drums, and yeah, I mean everything that was great about the first couple comes back. This isn't as strong as those first three or four.
No.
It's a little bit more straightforward, but it's kind of nice to get back to a more straightforward, more thrash like older Sepultura sound, especially after the last two tracks.
And Ken, what do you think? This is another Andreas track.
Yeah, I like it. I agree with Billy. This is like a kind of, they get back to the standard, which is good. Yeah. Lots of good chugs in the pacing. It's dominant really at the start of the song. I like this vocals a lot of like more hardcore shouts. I noticed. And then the Max has a nice growl here that really adds a little bit extra to oomph to the song. Drumming is great, and I like the fact that the lyrics are about it, like critiquing the idea of blind faith and the manipulation of like your ideals, and highlighting the torment that comes from when you question your beliefs. So it's kind of a personal song, but I like it. I think this is a redeemable song in the track listing.
And I think the title's pretty apt for that. Because meaningless movements, a lot of people think that maybe could be an anti-religious or an anti, in the sense that he's kind of saying this whole thing to some degree is meaningless. I think that's pretty astute. No, I like that. That's cool. It's an okay track for me too. I think it's a recalibration. Like I say, only Under Siege is my least favorite, but this one kind of gets the ball rolling, which we're going to be heading into. Ken, why don't you take us home in song 9 here with Infected Voice?
Yeah, Infected Voice I do like. I mean, it's not as strong as the first three, but at least it's a song that kind of goes back to the right to the heart of the matter, and he just pounds you in the face. I like it. It's got like the tempo is relentless. There's good chug and the drumming is great. It's a banger of an ending for me. Mm-hmm. The chorus is great. I love the whole Infected Voice part of it with the chorus. And again, this is an Andreas Kisser lyrically written song. He's exploring the ideas of fear, and about the idea of fear of growing up with it, and making some progress with your life and your decisions. So it's kind of cool for that regard. But I think it's a good song to end off the album. Unfortunately, it's not as good as the first three, but I guess you can't get everything you want in life. But I like it. I do like the way it ends.
I love it. I think it's just for me, it's right up there with the first 3 or 4. And I love the way it ends the album off, because I mean, this sucker's fast right out of the gate. You've got the sort of cymbals coming in. You're thinking, what's going to happen? It's just heavy, fast. And I love the chorus. I think the chorus is really cool. And this would be one that I'd love to, like Billy, you said you've seen this live a few times. I'd love to see this song live. This would be awesome. This would be kind of one of my favorites to see live. I'd rather even cut Roots. I like Roots. I like the album, but Roots, I get it, why they play it live. It's a big crowd pleaser, and it's anthemic. And it just, I mean, I can't imagine the mosh pit with it, but this I would love to see. I'd love to see this instead. Billy, what's your thoughts on Infected Voice?
And so, Jim, the bigger reaction to Roots live is not a mosh pit; it's jumping.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, like all the young people jump.
They jump, yes.
So
they just jump.
Yeah, like jumping up and down. So
yeah, it's weird. It's a weird thing, but yeah,
and it would be a wicked mosher.
I mean, I'm sure there's some people moshing somewhere, but it's like literally everybody's jumping in unison.
Really?
For me.
It's a young people thing, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so this track, so yeah, you guys said it all. I like it. It's a banger, great way to end. I think it's kind of interesting because to me, this reminds me of finishing of Beneath the Remains. This track
Yeah.
is very similar to Primitive Future. Not
Yeah.
only is it almost the exact same length, but it kind of has that same feel and that same chorus. And like to me, this is the track that could have most fit on Beneath the Remains, right? Like Arise, like the first three tracks are great, and this isn't quite as good as the first three. One of you guys already said that. But yeah, this track I feel could have easily been a leftover from the Beneath sessions.
Okay.
Wow. Yeah,
I
no.
could see that.
No, wicked. Well, guys, that's the album, believe it or not. That was fairly quick.
Well, it's a short album. It's not very
Yeah, it
long.
is.
What is it, like 40 minutes or 40
I-
something, I guess?
I got it written down here. I had written it down at 42:26.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's a short album. It's pretty short.
That's probably why they went with two. I probably would have taken, maybe one of the other longer, the second longer one, and just chopped it into maybe two, and maybe added a 10th song. I don't know. I'm glad they didn't do any covers or anything, so that's kind of cool.
Oh
But
God, no.
yeah, I know. But I remember buying this. I remember my buddies going like, "What the hell is this?" We were at the record store, and I was like, "Oh man, this is my OG, my original copy." And I remember buying it, and I was like, "Oh, you guys got to check this out." At that point, I had Beneath, and I think I had Schizophrenia, and I was like, "Oh my God, this is great!" And they all bought it and loved it, but none of them really. It's weird because none of them really went back. A couple of them went back to Beneath, but before that, maybe Billy's got a good point. Maybe they heard it and was like, it's a little muddy for even back then in '91. I don't know.
I don't know.
Weird. But I mean, yeah, I just remember them, and the fact that obviously from Brazil, it just mind blowing that the thrash. I mean, this in my mind is one of my top, probably in my top 10. Well, Beneath would probably be for sure in my top, even 6 or 7. This would probably be in my top 10 thrashers of all time. I mean, I love this album. So
Beneath sits as my number 2 favorite album of all time.
Is it?
There you go.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
Nice.
It's not for me, but I like both these two albums. They're great.
Yeah. But I'm like Ken. I
Sepultura.
like Chaos AD. I think that brings a lot. It was kind of and you got hints of it here. And I do like Roots, but I can see why a lot of people. I see Billy's points too. I mean, I get it. A lot of people didn't like the change, although I consider it more of a tweaking. But I guess it is a little bit more altered than I'd like to give it credit for, probably.
Well, but we can always argue these points.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's called change, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
fans are going to change. You can't. We go back to this argument all the time, especially when just not that I'll bring Metallica up, but just because of Metallica, like well, how many times do I want to hear Master of Puppets every year? I don't. I just metal thrash, like it's got a certain time. It's got a time frame.
Yeah.
Bands will start. It's fresh. It's primal. Then they alternately mature and they change. So when they got their roots, they made a change. Now, whether you like that change, that's up to you. It's personal preference. But that's part of life. Change is just, it's going to happen.
It's a good point. It's almost like a time signature in time. Like you can't have, everything can't be a Beneath or an Arise. Otherwise, it would get the same. You'd be the same every time. You'd just be like, okay, it's like one long album.
And then what you're getting here with Arise is you're getting a lot more mature songwriting, lyrically and musically. Yeah, and okay, I mean, I agree with Billy too that there's a little bit of weird shit going on in some of the songs that changes a bit of the complexity of it. But again, this is what you get. You either dig it or you don't.
Yeah, true.
I like this album. I like what they did here. It's different.
So, Billy, you never reached for Chaos AD?
Not really. Like, yeah, I mean,
I know you own it.
There's some decent stuff on there for sure.
Yeah.
It's there's so much great music and so many different things out there, and it's hard to just even touch 10% of it.
Yeah.
So I'd rather sort of find a new band and something brand new than to keep trying to get into something I didn't like a whole lot.
What do you think of the cover, Billy? Do you like that cover in Chaos?
I loved it.
Yeah, it was okay. Yeah.
Michael Whalen again did that cover.
Yeah.
So.
And the inside insert, were those like dead bodies? Like,
yes. Yeah.
Oh man, I remember opening it. I think I got it for Christmas or something. I was like, oh my god.
I probably like the Arise cover a bit better though, but
the Rise cover.
Oh yeah.
But I don't mind the Chaos AD cover either.
And I like the Roots cover too. I thought that was really smart, really cool.
Yeah, that's Michael Whalen as well.
Yeah.
That's the last cover he did for the band.
Wow.
And then he came back to do a Dark Ages on the Soulfly album. He did that cover.
Oh, and just a quick plug here for Ken, for you, Ken. I have the new Insight album that I've done a review on. I'll be sending it to you. Awesome. So the attachment here is the fact that that's Max's nephew. I believe I can't remember what I wrote.
It's like his son, but I don't think they're blood. Well, I'm not sure. Yeah, he's like a relation to the family. Really.
And he's done, I think he did some work with him on Soulfly. But what's really neat is when you guys hear this Insight record, holy shit. Like, I'm calling it now one of my top 10 albums. It is just so good.
Yeah, no, so Richie is the son of his wife, Gloria.
Okay.
From another marriage. Okay. So that's if I remember correctly. Richie, Richie's like pretty much the mature. Well, there's all the Zyklon's also drumming for Cavalier now. Not for Cavalier, but for I think Soulfly.
Okay.
So it's a family affair now.
Yeah.
It's become a family affair. But
you guys check out that.
Insight's good. Insight's a really good band.
Oh man, and that I get so much. I don't know. I didn't want to like dwell on the attachment. Well, I tell you what, I'm not going to talk about the review because I'm going to send it to you, and you're going to put it out there. We want people to read it.
Of course, absolutely.
I have it done. You'll be getting it this week, and it's not due out till August, so I got it done super early.
That's fine.
Cool. Well, that takes us to the end. Billy, do you have anything to add there?
No, nothing else on Sepultura.
Cool. So we're going to do I don't think we've done a top album of 91. I can't remember. I don't think we have. So holy shit. 91 was another banner year. I mean, holy cow. Who wants to go first?
We did Jim, we did a top 10 of 91 albums. I remember doing that.
Okay.
We did a top 10 of 91?
Yeah, we did something with 91 because some of these albums my top choice album here was I talked about previously. So
it might have been when we did Horoscope because that was released in 91.
Yeah, I think we did our top 10 something 90. I think we did top 10 albums of 91. I'm pretty sure. But anyways, doesn't matter.
Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay, cool. Ken, take her away.
So 1991. I was talking. Billy and I were doing the Burrell Thrashcast night on Monday. So we were talking about what album did you pick, and I was like, well, I actually have several that I liked, but I thought I it's hard because I wanted to narrow it down to what album did I listen to a lot in 91, and there's actually at least 5 or 6 that I did. But I went with Warrior Soul, and I went with Drugs, God, and the New Republic.
Oh, wicked album!
Yeah, it's a band that I do really like, and I remember them in the early '90s. I got into the band right from the start, from their first album, Last Decade, Dead Century in 1990, and I was been a fan. And it's funny, like the band put out 4 solid records from like 90 to 94, and then kind of dipped after that. But they put out 4 solid records, and Drugs, God, New Republic to me was such a great album.
Yeah.
I totally got into that album, and I love the songs on it. And I always thought that Corey Clark was kind of an interesting guy because I thought he had elements of like Jim Morrison, and he had elements of Dave Mustaine. He kind of very interesting kind of dude, kind of a more gruff voice. So there's a bit of a punk edge or a punk vibe to some of those songs. But I thought his lyrics were like poetic and they were nihilistic. So that's why I was kind of bringing the comparisons to Jim Morrison and to Dave Mustaine for bringing those kind of lyrics to light on the album. Now, some of them might be a little bit, they're topical for the time. He's talking about politics and America and the world. So you get that with this album, but you really, really can't go wrong with it. Like all the songs, like Rocket 88, Jump for Joy, the title track, Drugs, God, the New Republic. Those are really, really good songs.
Wasteland.
Yeah, Wasteland. Yeah, this guy's great. I think the biggest problem with Corey Clark was that, and for me, is that he couldn't keep a solid lineup. There's always, every album came out, lineup change. So I kind of compare him a little bit to Dave Mustaine in a lot of ways because he was kind of outspoken and his lyrics are pretty powerful. He's not a musician, he doesn't play guitar or anything like that, but I know he played drums. Originally, he was a drummer in Raging Slab and a couple other bands that he played drums in. But
Raging Slab's cool.
Yeah, Raging Slab's cool. I know he was a drummer in that band. But I always thought they were a great band. I thought they were kind of unique at the time when they came out. It's just too bad to me that by the time the mid 90s came, they started to peter out. They took a break. They had a long break and then came back. And I know they've had 3 or 4 recent albums in the last 5, 6, 7 years. So I mean, he still plays. He's still playing Warrior Soul, but yeah, I always loved the band name Warrior Soul. I thought it was a great name for a band, for a metal band.
Same here.
And I just think that album, I played it a lot when it came out. So I really, really love that album. And
I like the next album, which was Salutations from the Ghetto Nation.
Ghetto Nation, yes. I love that album.
Man. So I saw them play open for Queensryche, and I didn't know who they were for Sex, Drugs, and the New Republic. And man, what a show. I mean, that was for, I think, the Empire tour, I believe it was. And holy shit, I love that Wasteland. It's funny you brought this up because I totally forgot about this, but about 3 weeks ago I watched the Wasteland video and I started spinning virtually. I only have the first 3 albums.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, they're wicked band though.
Yeah, I own all their albums. The last couple like Chill Pill and Space Age Playboy.
I have Chill Pill, yes. I have that one.
Yeah, Chill Pill's okay. Space Age Playboys, they started to change the style.
I don't have that, no.
I'm like, okay, I don't know what you guys are doing here, but it doesn't work. But yeah, those first 4 albums are solid. They're solid record out.
I'm pissed. I want to pick that for mine now. I'm like, as soon as we're done, I'm gonna go listen to it again.
You should. It's a great album. It's worth it. I've been listening to it all week, and I was like, yeah, this is a good album. I'm gonna go with this because I was thinking about going with Blind.
Yeah, by Corrosion of Conformity.
Yeah, because I love that album when it came out. That album, the vocalist is so great. He was only on the one album, and he's from Montreal, and I loved his vocals, and I just love that. I just love that album. That album is so fucking killer, and it's a thrash album. It's not really punk. It's more like hard. It's more thrash, and I think it's a great album too. But both those albums I was listening to a lot in '91 when they came out, but I went with Warrior Soul.
Cool. Billy, I can't wait to hear your pick, Billy.
Yeah, so just on Warrior Soul, I kind of agree. I have all their albums.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. The first 3 are just so underrated, underappreciated. The songwriting was fantastic, and these guys could write a killer ballad. Forget about the 80s hair metal bands. But these were like sophisticated ballads, not the oh my broken heart type stuff, right? So that was really cool. I think what did them in though, Corey Clark is probably the biggest ego in music. All he ever did is rave about he's the best songwriter, the best lyric writer, the best vocalist that's come out since Led Zeppelin. Like he's got no one to blame but himself. He's blowing up lots of times. And like I got to see them, maybe 13, 14, or 15 at the Wacken Festival in Germany. And because I've raised these guys before on the podcast because I'm a big fan. But I don't know if I told this story, but so there's 100,000 people on the festival grounds watching music. And for me, this was a no-brainer. I had to get there to see them. And there was me and 4 other people to see Warrior Soul.
Oh wow.
And Corey Clark was just disgusted. He gave a half-ass effort.
Yeah.
He felt he should have had like the main stage, and he had
Mhm.
the smallest stage with like 5 people watching him. Uh,
Wow.
yeah, like, and he didn't. Yeah, he didn't. His anger just came right out. So it's kind of interesting, but yeah,
Hmm.
but I agree with you, Ken. Like the and Jim, the first 3 albums are outstanding, but they
Yeah.
started to lose me later, and
Yeah.
he
Okay.
started yelling, singing more than his like actual
Right.
singing.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's a bit disappointing. So, but yeah, so 91, like I forgot we did a top 10. So I don't know if this would have been in my top 10. I purposely looked for something that I absolutely love, but that
Yeah.
wouldn't be in my top 5. But I've gone with
Oh, nice.
Anacrusis Manic Impression. So, speaking of, this probably shares some things with Ken's band in just like incredibly underrated. No ego,
Yeah.
none of that stuff.
Yeah.
These guys are like very clean but yeah, just underappreciated. The guys are from St. Louis. They had 4 albums, a fairly brief career. 88 was Suffering Hour. Screams and Whispers was The End in 93. The band broke up after that. There was some reunion stuff, a few one-off shows, and they did a re-recording of one of the older albums. Um, I like everything. The first two albums are far more chaotic thrash. The vocals are more chaotic, but the last two really get into like a more of a progressive thrash. Uh, the songwriting is far more mature, a lot more melody and technicality in the playing. Uh, but like just like the vocalist is Ken Nardi, he's also the guitar player and one of the lead songwriters, but he just like his singing here, he's able to install all these moods on the song. And I've never really heard that with a thrash bass, somebody who could alter the mood so much. So that's one of the reasons I love this song so much. It's one of my all-time favorite covers. New Model Army, I Love the World. I think it's a brilliant cover, and it just might be my number one if I did cover songs. And again, so many great songs. Paint a Picture. Our Reunions, one of my favorite songs. Like the vocal melodies are just outstanding. Still Black, Explained Away. For people who don't know Anacrusis, you could try like Suffering Hour or Reason, or jump to like Manic Impressions. Just really unique band, and didn't get nearly enough credit. It's a damn shame. That's what I
But
have.
Billy, correct me if I'm wrong. Hasn't Ken Nardi been doing something more recently?
Well, he did like a solo album that he put
Right.
out.
Okay,
He did
that's what I
a
was
CD.
thinking of.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
it's pretty
Okay.
different. Like I wouldn't put it like I own it. Like it's just not the same.
Okay. Yeah. I thought he put something out more
Yeah,
recently, and I thought I do remember that it wasn't really thrash. It was a different kind of style of music.
yeah, even
Okay.
different than like Manic and Screams.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Like, it's not
I thought that
bad. I haven't listened to it in a few years, so I'd have to pull it out again. But
I
it's
think I
hard to
have it.
find.
I
Yeah.
think I own it. I'm pretty sure
Okay.
because I own all the Anna Cruz's albums, and I think I actually have that album too. I'd have
Okay.
to, but it just wasn't thinking about it until you mentioned Ken
Mm.
Nardi. Oh yeah, Ken
Yeah.
Nardi.
And if
Great.
anybody's interested in that album, you could go to Die Bomb Records. Did it me, they're probably the only place you can find it on CD. They
Yeah.
have the CD. It's like a great package. I think the last time I
Okay.
looked, it was like $5 or $6 bucks.
Oh, that's
Wow.
not bad. That's actually good.
Yeah, it's pretty cheap. Now, I don't know if that was like a sale price, but Dive Bomb's
Mhm.
always doing like sales. And at any given time, like probably 25% of their stuff you could get between $4 and $7.
Oh, I'll have to
Mhm.
check that out. Jeez.
Yeah,
Yeah,
go for it.
Jim,
Reminded me from
you'll
like.
go down a rabbit hole with those guys. And what's really cool, like every CD they sell, they put a hype sticker and
Yeah.
Okay.
they tell you exactly the 3 bands they sound most like.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
cool. Okay.
So, like, I don't know. I think I was playing one of theirs the other day. Despair, like one of the Despair albums, like they're one of their later ones that are more technical. And they kind of sort of said, if you like Forbidden, Toxic, and they gave a couple things. They're always pretty accurate.
Cool.
Okay.
So there'll be a load of stuff because they specialize in one-off bands who release sometimes only a demo in the 80s. But they have like a cult following, so they always reissue it with the band helping them do it.
I like that idea. That's actually pretty cool.
So half the stuff I never hear, but I go to that hype sticker that tells me what it sounds like, and then I just load up.
Cool.
Nice. Cool.
No, great pick, Billy. So I'm going to go with the Black Album. No, I'm just kidding. There are so many good albums. So I wanted to go, like, I like Symbol of Salvation from Armored Saint. I think that was great, but that's not my pick. I mean, you've got Streets from Sabotage, which probably, is a great, I like it. I don't know how well liked it is, but I really like it. But I think I'm going to go with, and you guys know I'm on a huge Dismember kick right now. So, I had this on cassette, like an ever-flowing stream. I think this is probably, I keep saying this about every death metal album that I do in these, and I keep saying it's in my top 5. So I'm going to have to do a list and actually write this shit down. But this would definitely be probably even in my top 3. Entombed had an album out, I think, Clandestine.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's good, and it's great. I mean, I love
that album.
Yeah, but I like, and I am into a big Dismember. Like, I just picked up their demos from 88 to 90, I think it is, and it's just, I mean, it's really muddy production, and it's like just pieces of songs and then songs and stuff. It's pretty cool. And I just got their what is it, Maximum Killing Capacity CD. I never got that one. That's a wicked album, and obviously Billy's put me on to Nuclear Blast, which is their they're distributing their albums. So that whenever there was an Easter sale, there was I think there was just a Memorial Day sale the other day, and I took advantage of a few more things. And whenever these sales come up 3 or 4 times, 5 or 6 times a year, I'm just jumping in there. And the more you order, for me, the better shipping it is to Canada. So it's kind of just makes you want to order more. But I've been going back. I'm going to get some of the newer Dismember stuff. I don't have a lot, probably a lot of the stuff in the latter part of their career. I think there was 3 albums. But man, what a Swedish death metal. I mean, it is so aggressive and violent and just fun. I mean, oh man, I just love it. And I think that album's probably, I'd have to go in and look. I think, I'd have to see Spiritual Healing would be in there probably as one of my top 3. This one, and probably the first Entombed one, Left Hand Path, I would have to say. But then again, Obituaries, like Slowly We Rot, or even, man, I don't even know. I'd have to write them all down to see. But there's so many good, and So This Is Life, Soon to Be Dead. Just wicked tracks on this album, and anybody who's looking for just really, and there's parts of it too, like even this, but even parts of Dismember where they go into kind of like it's death, and then there's a bit of thrash, but there's also kind of some rock elements there from time to time. I mean, not in the vocals, but just it's really, I find it really accessible, especially for a band that hasn't recorded obviously in a while. I don't even believe, I know they reunited, I think in the 2000s at some point, but I don't know if they're doing anything now. I couldn't find anything.
They're still a band, Jim. They're still a band.
They're still a band. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I think they play shows, but they haven't recorded an album in a long time.
Yeah. They're still playing stuff.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
Oh man, I love them. I just absolutely love them. And remember, Death had an album out, Human, this year. This year. But I mean, I wanted to go with something a little bit more, and I didn't realize we did a top 10. But I'm gonna have to check that out and see. But
I'm pretty sure we did.
Yeah, quite possibly. I know we were doing at the start a lot of top 10. So, but yeah, that's my pick, and one hell of an album. Anybody out there who's looking for one of the top death metal albums, in my opinion, at least in most, probably in many top 10s. I mean, it's right up there with and then I'm putting it in my top 3 now. I'm moving it to my top 5 as I'm thinking it through. But anyways, we'll have to do a top 10 death metal list or something.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Of albums of one of these times we do maybe a death thrash band.
Yeah.
But that's it, fellas. We have come to the end. Wow.
Yep.
That was quick.
The show in the books.
Yep. Another show 58. Well, next week I believe it's Billy's up for hosting. So Billy, what are you going to be? I think show 59. What are you bringing to Big 59?
We're gonna do Slayer and go to Hell Awaits.
Yeah.
My second favorite Slayer album.
Good choice.
Then Ken, you get the week after, and that's show 60. That's a milestone.
Yeah.
60.
Yeah, I get a milestone.
Woo! There you go.
I already got my pick. I already know what I'm doing. So
good stuff. Good stuff. But oh man, Hell Awaits, that's gonna be awesome. I can't wait for Hell Awaits.
Yeah, me too.
But anyways, guys, that's it. If you guys have anything else you want to add?
No, man. All good.
No, I don't think so. Until next week.
Absolutely. Yep. Good night, everybody. Have a great night.
Good night.
All right, night.